Monday, January 2nd. It is 2025. Your boy's starting out 2025 heavier than he has been in a few years. So, yeah, I got to go on a little weight loss. But we're going to talk about a lot today. We're going to talk about the top 10 Trendspider things that they launched in 2024, which I think was great. I bought a stock on Tuesday. I bought a lot of it. I figured it's a top stock pick from Bank of America. We'll go over that one. One of my favorite episodes of the year of a podcast that I really love, and it taught me a lot, and it gave me a lot to think about. So I'm going to put that one in. Berkshire, if you didn't know it, they had an amazing year. We'll kind of review that. We'll go over some S&P targets. We'll go over the top stocks 2025. Google is one that's killing it. There's a lot of chatter about Snowflake. Goldman Sachs called 2 stocks their top picks. We'll go over one stock, and I'll show you how the quant just absolutely, the Seeking Alpha quant nailed this one. Nailed it. A couple of ones that might be possible in the new year. Maybe they're good. Crypto and Bitcoin, and then the scans. We'll go over all of that stuff. Where are we with the Qs? Well, the year ended not great. I mean, you went from 530 on the NASDAQ down to 511. I mean, that's still well above the 500. And if you take this, and for everybody who's complaining about the end and the last 2 weeks, look at a weekly chart. It was bound to pull back a little. You're not even at your 50-day on the weekly. You're not even at your 21-day on the weekly. Technically speaking, we should have a much larger pullback. We should. Is it likely? Yeah. Is it going to be in January? I don't know. Nobody knows. The reality of the situation is you're in a bull market until you're not. So here, back in 2021 and 2022, 2021 started off great. And we just kept going until March. And then you saw a nice little pop and everybody got it, oh, this is the end. This was the nice pullback that we needed. Nope. We continued down. What did you do during this? If you sold and you didn't get back in, maybe it just felt nervous to get back in. Maybe you got back in when the 50-day touched the 200, but you missed out on this whole thing from 269 to 325. So time in the market beats timing the market. And I will tell you from a weekly standpoint, look at the volume trending down. We should start trending up because everybody's back from vacation. Your RSI is at 57. That's no man's land. At 57, the last time this one hit 57, the Qs were at 450. Okay, so it doesn't mean that we're automatically going to go down. Yes, the oscillator's up at 16 points above the zero line, but on the MACD. But it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you can't continue up. And on the 4-hour, if you're trading on the 4-hour, the algorithm has you out. Now, mind you, the 4-hour makes you 81% over 24 months. That's great. You win 65% of the time. So you could trade on the 4-hour, an 81% gain over 2 years. That is fantastic. But if you buy and hold, you made 94%. So just saying, if you want to trade for safety purposes, then I think everybody has a different risk tolerance. So what did 2024 consume for you? In the year 2024, Americans spent on average 76 days on their phone. 76 days. That's not, hey, it's 76 days I picked up my phone. That's 76 24-hour periods that you spent on your phones. Douchebags, get out and do something a little bit more. I mean, honestly, if you're one of those people, just get out and do a little bit more. Maybe one of those things is Trendspider. Because Trendspider just put out the top 10 features of 2024. Okay, these are 10 features that they released during 2024. Okay, this isn't something that, oh my God, we're going to charge our customers for. These are things that they included in your subscription if you subscribe to Trendspider. Number 10, market breadth and custom symbols. Jason goes over all of these. It's a 5-minute video. Okay, number 9, congressional trades. Number 8, dashboards. You just changed the game with dashboards. Scheduled scanning. Every morning on YouTube, I go through scans. I don't need to do that. The reason I do that is because there's an audience. But if it were just me, I would have all of these scans emailed to me every morning so that I wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I know exactly what's bullish on the 4-hour algorithm. Now, if you don't have Trendspider, you can absolutely get that every day. It comes out in the newsletter, and the newsletter is 100% free. But again, emailed all those scanners. If you're setting yourself up, the weekend's newsletter is going to be titled 7 Ways to Organize Yourself for Success in 2025 and 10 Ways ChatGPT Says You Can Succeed as an Investor. So those things are all, again, setting yourself up, saving time. This is what Trendspider's about. Number 6, custom indicator scripting. You could build your own indicator. They built a bunch of them. And they give them to you for free. Market and bubble maps. You know how we go on to FinViz and we look at the heat map? You can get this for your own portfolio. You can set it up for your watch list. You can set it up for a lot of things. Relative performance. This is an indicator that is going to live on my charts in 2025. I need to set it up. I need to start being able to use it, but it is an indicator that they launched that is amazing. Go and find out more about it. Strategy Variance Explorer. Say you don't like the 4-hour algorithm because it responds too slow for you. We'll see how the strategy works on 5 minutes. It's literally, I wish this lived, because when we were building that algorithm, the 4-hour algorithm, my buddy and Steve and I, the problem was we didn't know what time frame to look at. So we looked at 4-hour and we said, ooh, this works. And then we had to build it around 4 hours. It would have been incredibly easier to actually build this thing with the Strategy Variance Explorer. It's a game-changing tool. Another game-changing tool, fundamental data. So I love seeking alpha for fundamental data. You can work fundamental data into your charts and into your scans. Say you want to look for stocks in Trendspider that are trading below their 200-day and have a price to earnings of less than 15. You can do that, okay? And you can display it on the charts so that you can quickly scroll through it. Do I use it? No. Is it there for me to use? Yes. Is it something that you should learn to use? Probably. And the number one tool is AI Strategy Lab. If you don't know what AI Strategy Lab, go and just look at Trendspider's YouTube channel. I continue to state that I think somebody, because this is just pointing and clicking, and it comes up with a strategy for you. I continue to think that somebody is going to use the AI Strategy Lab and become very wealthy from a strategy in Trendspider over this year. I continue to think that that's the case. Now, you might say, well, how do I get Trendspider? Well, look down below, because there's an address right below my head, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. It takes you to this page. Click on that top link. That top link takes you to the Trendspider page. They have just extended the offer. All of those things, plus so much more. You get my 4-hour algorithm. You get the 65-minute algorithm. You get so much more. And it's, again, you're saving 65%. On this advanced tier. I would move you. You can figure out which tier makes sense for you. I would steer you away from the standard tier during this time period, because the enhanced tier is it's $5 more for the year. And what does the enhanced tier get you? It gets you the 30 simultaneous trading bots. Okay, it gets you 100 simultaneous alerts. It gets you 10 active windows. It gets you one user. It gets you real-time data. It gets you a free one-on-one training session with a product expert from Trendspider. They will teach you how to use the tool. Okay? If you don't think, and by the way, Enhanced comes with AI Strategy Lab, the standard does not. And that's just because of cost. And for $5 more, get the Enhanced, because the AI Strategy Lab is worth it for the year. Now, Advanced, this is the selling point on this one. You get so much more with Advanced. Instead of 100 alerts, you get 400. But the key point in this Advanced here is right here. It says unlimited one-on-one training. So rather than just one-on-one training, you can do the entire year. Think of it this way. If you're going to pay $78 a month, take 2 courses per month. Okay? $35, what is that? $37, $38 a month? Per session. I'm sorry, $38. And you get the tool for free. Name another training platform, a course where you can take it for $38 per session and you get a tool for free for the year. So again, that advanced tier, it's worth it. Go and watch this video. That's the best one. And if you want to, again, the congressional trades, if you just want to follow Nancy Pelosi, who is the greatest investor of all time, you can do it on Trendspider. You don't have to pay separately. I bought a stock on Tuesday. I bought NVDA. NVIDIA rises. Bank of America keeps top pick rating on chip giant ahead of CES. Couple of reasons. I put it in the chat in the newsletter. Okay, if you go over to the chat section, you can read why I did it. I'm not going to say why I did it here. Just know, in my mind, this is just a stock that I think it should be in your portfolio. I added to it. What's my price target on it? I don't know. I just know that below 140, I want to start adding to it. I added on weakness. I'm not trading this on the 4-hour algorithm. You could, because over 24 months, you make 611%. Okay? 611%. Say you put $1,000 into NVIDIA 24 months ago and you traded the 19 positions that the 4-hour algorithm told you. That $1,000 is now worth $6,111. So it's amazing. Again, the 4-hour algorithm, it comes when you sign up for Trendspider. All you have to do is email me. Just email me your confirmation page and boom, I get you set up under my affiliate. You click and you import it. But I did buy NVIDIA and I'm not buying it on the algorithm. I am using that 140 price point because when we look at a weekly chart, we just went over the weekly chart on QQQ. Look at the weekly chart on NVIDIA. I think it's setting up right there at 140. Now, do I know if it's going to go up to 160 or back down to this support level of 93? I don't. But when I drag this volume weighted price and I go back to the last time where it was at 93, you can see how many people are down here at 85 and 86. They have a ton, but we're setting up a volume at 129. And do I care if I buy a bunch of stock at 135 if it dips down to 120? Not if my time horizon is 3 to 5 years. I'm not timing it that well. I just can't. I'm not that good of an investor. I'm not. I mean, full disclosure, I'm not. I just want to be in the game. And I think NVIDIA is one of those. Jensen Huang is the keynote speaker at CES. I mean, mic drop. Do I need to say anything more? So NVIDIA, again, Bank of America keeps his top pick. Now, one of the great episodes, I've been out walking, I'm trying to work my way back up to running, but I was out walking I guess it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not sure. I did a couple of walks, 10, 11 miles, I think, over the time. But 2024 Millie Awards from My First Millions, okay? These guys went through a great list of things. Best investment of the year, worst investments of the year. In fact, it was funny because they likened the best investor to David Puddy in Seinfeld. If you like Seinfeld, then listen to that portion of the thing. I thought it was great. Biggest personal loss of the year, coolest moment of the year, life hack of the year, Billy of the year. That's the top billionaire of the year. And just disclosure, I think they picked Mark Zuckerberg. Frame breaking person, favorite guest, best product, biggest change for the year. I think this was a great episode. Just from a personal standpoint, this made me think about 2025. I thought it was fantastic. Again, Nick Gray is one of their favorite people. Inverse Galloway Index, do what the best story. Again, I think this was just a great episode. So I'm just bringing you that one. Now, let's talk about next year. Because these are the S&P targets for this year. Okay, where are we on the S&P? Well, you can track it by SPY. SPY, remember, SPY tracks the S&P very well. It's just you add 0 to the end. So the S&P right now is at 5860, I guess. That's where SPY is. 586 is where SPY is. So you can track that. Where do they think that we're going to end up? Well, UBS says 6,400. That's up from 586. JP Morgan says 6,500. Morgan Stanley says 6,500. Look, it goes all the way up to 7,100. Here's the chart from Bloomberg. These are all the targets. The lowest is 4,450 from BCA Research. This dude is going to lose his job. I mean, just FYI, that there's no freaking way. Earnings per share, $240. There's no freaking way. No freaking way. Average, 6,534. Where are we right now on SPY? 586. I mean, mic drop. Do you want to be in the market? I think you want to be in this market. Seeking Alpha Sentiment, what's the price target for the S&P in 2025? They did their listeners. So these are the listeners. I really, really think that this is going to be a good year. So just be aware. There are some bumps in the road. We'll go over them. And if you think that Warren Buffett doesn't know what he's doing because he bought more Occidental Petroleum and he's down $2 billion in Oxy, the dude beat the S&P. Last year, you can't do it nobody's done it as consistently as he has. So while the headlines are screaming Warren Buffett loses $2 billion on Occidental Petroleum, that dude's laughing in the bank because he's, again, Berkshire should be in your portfolio. It's a good stock. If you just want something to sit there, I bought at the absolute high. I think I pulled out of that one share that I bought in my Webull account for his birthday. I will be getting back into this. And if you want to know how to trade it, in my mind, I look at the 4-hour algorithm and I say, when does it get me in? Well, it got me in at 453. Now, what are we seeing here on a weekly? You're seeing it right in this area. It's just capitulated all the way since August. It hasn't done anything. What has it done the few times that it's done this over the time? It's popped out. So maybe this is just something where it's looking to pop out again. The MACD is resetting. The RSI is at 51. Now, again, the 4-hour, if you just pull this back, it hasn't done anything since August. Look at it. August, it was back here. And, it was in an upward trend and it hit. You got a nice little double top there. I mean, if we just do a little line right here from this high at 484, look, you got a double top. It's going to break through again. It will break through again. It will absolutely break through again. So Berkshire, don't forget it. Just don't forget it. The S&P delivers first back-to-back annual gains of more than 20% since 1998. I was a wee 28-year-old lad. Yes, I have Irish in me, so I can portray the leprechaun. But remember, here's the thing. The third year is going to be tough, and it usually is. Trump has already made some waves about tariffs, and we don't know what's going to happen. Trump is great for traders. The volatility is super high. In his first time, if you don't remember his first term, go and check out the daily of the S&P during 2017, 2020, before COVID. There were big moves based on tweets. I would expect that to happen again. So here's my warning. If you're the person who checks your portfolio and worries about it from day to day, and you're not the person to take the opportunity to buy the dip, just get yourself into ETFs. Because the reality is you will absolutely have huge dips during this year. There will be certain points in time where he's threatening nuclear war, where he's threatening a dictator, where he's telling somebody that, hey, I promise you that we're going to do this, and you're going to see the ups and downs. I personally think we will wind up the year higher than we start. And I personally think that there are risks. I mean, think about this risk, okay? It is likely, and it's not like 100%, but it's likely we see some type of pullback this year of 5% or more. It happens. And it's just a nature of the market. And then when we pull back 5%, if it's going to 10%, okay, and inflation is under control and the job market is perfectly okay, if you don't think that President Trump is going to be threatening Jerome Powell that we have to move and reduce rates, and there's no reason to, and there's going to be tension there, yeah, that's not what markets like. So you're going to see those types of things. So there's legends of the first few days in January, the first 2 weeks in January, and January being a bellwether for the rest of the year. I kind of throw those out. It's kind of like, And if you're one of those people who's just going to worry the entire time because it's up and down, Here's 7 investments combined that make a foolproof portfolio. VOO, QQQ, SCHD, VNQ, VXUS, BND, and GLD. And throw in some Bitcoin. Again, this entire thread is filled with people who just suggest, hey, here's the thing. So, again, portfolios, this is a good roundabout portfolio. Is it going to beat VOO? Is it going to be QQQ? Probably not, but it rounds you out. It's I don't like bonds. I don't like gold. I don't like international exposure. I hate real estate. I'm not a big fan of high dividends. So VOO and QQQ are my thing. What's yours? Again, your portfolio is your portfolio. And if you have, if you want to see the top stocks of 2025, Steve Kress is holding just remember, the 2024 was up, let's see, 100 something percent, top 2024 stock picks, top 2025 stock picks. It most likely it'll be a winner. 2023, 2024, again, this is the top stocks 73% in 2023, top stocks in 2024, 134%. What's 2025 going to be? So if you want to attend this, it's January 8th from 12 to 3:30 p.m. It's a virtual event. Just sign up, use my link. I'll put it in the newsletter. Okay. This is interesting. OGs will remember LNG. This is Cheniere Energy. This is a liquid natural gas supplier that basically they have ports in Louisiana. I think they were expanding to Texas the last time I looked. I don't know the details of this one, but it's a good company if natural gas is your thing. Because what do they do? And this happened in 2021 and I believe 2022 and maybe 2023. What we were watching this one for when I was doing the podcast on this was they were taking cheap natural gas energy here in the US and they were selling it in Europe. And it was it was a super simple strategy. They were taking it here and $7 per therm or something like that. And they're selling it for something like $50 and $60 per therm in Europe. Europe has an energy problem. What do? They import freaking Russian energy into Germany through pipelines. Guess who's funding the war in Ukraine? It's Europe. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. What's Trump going to do? He's going to tell them you have to buy U.S. energy. Where are they going to buy U.S. energy from? It's going to be liquid natural gas where they put it onto a boat and they ship it over to Europe. And so this was one that provided a great, great pop. And here's a short summary, and check out my YouTube video on this, Moments from Patient Investor. 17 years worth of contracts based on fixed fee of 2.5. Okay, lifting margin, 7.5% free cash flow. This might be a very, very good investment. I'm not in it. Full disclosure, I'm in MPLX. That's my personal one. But LNG, it popped up. I saw it. I think it's interesting. Is it something I'm going to go at? No, doesn't fit my profile. You know what fits my profile? Google. Just announced Gemini's AI agents. Just FYI, they've been out there. But I use Google Gemini almost on a daily basis. Do I love it? No. Does it provide me some answers that are just suspect? Absolutely. But this is one I use. I use ChatGPT, I use Copilot, and I use Perplexity. And Claude every now and then I use. But you start using AI in the new year, it's just a good tool to have. We talk about toolkits. Again, I'm going to talk this weekend about how you can get set up for 2025 success. AI better be in your strategy. It better be in your workflow. So Google's just killing it. And if you look at the Google stock, I mean, do I think that Google stock is going to go to 250? I don't know. That 190, I mean, it doesn't seem to hold. It doesn't. But if we pull this back to the last time this hit around the 190 and you look at the volume profile, where do you see? You don't see a shit ton of people buying up here. The next one down is 183. So do I think you could buy? Look at that green trend line. I mean, you look at that green trend line, that comes from a weekly. We could easily pull back to that volume profile of 182. If you do, I'd say you start buying. Now, you may want to just use the 4-hour algorithm. It makes you 77%. Buying and holding makes you 119%. This is one of the top 5 stocks in my own personal portfolio. It's an interesting one. Now, Microsoft, Salesforce, Oracle among Evercore's top software stocks. The only one that there's two. Salesforce I own. Oracle I don't own, but I'd like to own it. But both probably should be in the core portfolio. Honest to God, I think both of them will be winners. Microsoft, it is one of my top 3 investments. It probably needs to come down. I'm not a huge believer in Microsoft. I'm a bigger believer in some of the other ones like Salesforce and Oracle. I think they have more room to grow. But if you look at Microsoft on Wall Street believes it's a $508 target. $508. That's a 20% upside. And when you look at it, as it's been capitulating right here, Wall Street hasn't come back and said, you know what, we don't believe in it. And there are 55 freaking analysts that cover this. So I think it's a good one. I think it's interesting. Now, what that article actually promoted, which I wanted to point out, which is in my notes right down here. In addition to the aforementioned trio, the analysis says Snowflake is their favorite growth idea. That's interesting to me because I brought this up before. Snowflake was in the core portfolio. I pulled it out and I replaced it in October of 2023 with Palantir. And Palantir has greatly outperformed. What do I think of Snowflake? Well, we go back here to 2021 and you can clearly see this channel that has formed. Okay, the top is 195. The bottom is 124. At that 150 price, if you believe that this is the top growth stock in 2025, then I would be buying here. As it breaks out here, in my mind, I think you trim when you get to 200. This one didn't get to 200, but I trimmed at 180 something. I trimmed, and I'm going to add more. It is not a very large position. This is a trading position in a retirement account. So it's very, very small. But that's one that's interesting. Now, Goldman Sachs came out with their top 2 picks for the year. One's Uber. Uber's in the core portfolio. Okay, it's got a hold rating in the quant. It's an interesting one. It's ranked 3 out of 7. It is not. It has been given up. The 52-week range is between $54 and $87. What does Wall Street think of Uber? Well, when we go and look at Wall Street, oh, it's still messing up. There we go. Wall Street says that their price target, it's just a little slow. And I think it's because of the pop-ups. Yeah. By the way, Seeking Alpha did get back to me on this. So the Wall Street price target is $89. That's a 49% upside. And while this stock is traded down, they haven't flinched. What? How many analysts? 54. Hasn't flinched. I think it's a good one. If we go and look at the chart and we say, okay, well, it's in the core portfolio. Should I trade it on the 4-hour algorithm? Well, the 4-hour algorithm makes you 85% over 24 months. You only win 30% of the time, but your average win is 16%. So you do make money. Down here, I've identified this as support. I don't particularly like where it's trading right now. Am I waiting for it? Yeah. Am I going to add more to it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe in this one. I just don't think that there's a winner take all with the ride sharing stuff. And I think Uber just has too much of a lead. And I believe in Dara. Now, what else do they think? The Goldman Sachs also thinks that NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Line, is a top stock. Well, what does Wall Street say? $30. It's trading at 25. That's an 18% upside. On top of that, the quant says it's a strong buy. And the valuation's not out of control. The growth is pretty good, but their profitability, momentum, and revisions are great. And it's a strong buy. How long has this one been a strong buy? Oh, let's just refresh a little bit. This one has been a strong buy ever since it traded. We're going to go down here. This one entered strong buy at 1975. You're at 25.73. So again, does the quant work? Well, let's take a look at one stock that was left for dead. Peloton. Who's got a freaking Peloton? Who's paying the $50 a month subscription for Peloton? They went back to the gyms. But I will point out to you that when this one was a strong buy at $4.90, and it just went to a buy, and then it was a strong buy at 468. Remember, this is a quant system, so it's just when it got strong buy, and maybe you wanted to wait 3 or 4 days while it was on the $5.48, and then it was a hold. It wasn't a sell, it was a hold. Okay, and it was based on the valuation. The valuation is stretched. Where's it trading today? $8.70. That's a huge. If we go over here and we look at last year, we look at Peloton over just 1 year. Oh, I got to refresh it again. They did identify, by the way, Seeking Alpha is saying that it's not their fault. It is Apple's fault. So it is. But look at the 3-month performance. Peloton's up 85%. 6 month, they're up 157%. 9 months, they're up 103%. So does the quant work? I believe it does. And if you want the quant, you go over to Linktree down below. Okay. The second one is premium and alpha picks. If you want just premium, which is the quant, you get $30 off and you get a free 7-day trial. Start your year off, get the free 7-day trial for if you just want it. If you want Alpha Picks, what is Alpha Picks? Alpha Picks is a portfolio of names that the quant team at Seeking Alpha handpick. You get a new one on the 1st. We're going to get one today. You get a new one on the 15th, and they tell you when to sell. There was just a sell last week on one. It's a managed portfolio. And you might say, why do I want that? Well, because most of these names, I don't even pick. I wouldn't have picked the majority of these names. I went 8 months hand picking. Okay, this is the one that they picked. Okay, I'm going to invest in it. This is the one that they picked. Sprouts Farmers Market is my famous one that I said they picked it. And I said, there's no way. I shop at Sprouts Farmers Market. I want to invest in it. Boom. It's up like 200% or so. It went crazy right after they picked it. The portfolio's up 164%. During the same time period, the S&P is up 57%. So it triples the S&P, and you get a $50 off coupon when you sign up. You can sign up for them individually with the 3rd and the 4th link right there, or you can sign up with the bundle. The bundle saves you $159. In the perfect world, okay, the perfect Gary toolkit is Trendspider right here and the bundle. That's it. And so I wanted to point out Peloton to you because this was one of the winners of 2024 that nobody ever would have thought would be a winner. But it was a huge, huge gamble. And another huge gamble, SMCI. Okay, is this one, we talked about this one. This one got pulled out of the core portfolio. The reason it got pulled out of the core portfolio is because no auditor can confirm that there isn't financial behavior. There could be crimes in this. They could be misstating their revenues. They could be misstating all of their costs just to boost up their margins. That's a real possibility because Ernst & Young said, hey, we don't want to, audit this one. We're not going to put our stamp of approval. There's some shady shit going. And then the company comes back and says, you know what? We had an independent counsel research this, and there's not. Well, guess who the independent counsel is? One of their board members, and it's just one. It's not a council. It's one person. And they're on the board. Do they have an incentive to kind of say that nothing's going on? Yeah, they have a new auditor. It's BMO, I think it's somebody. But this could be one of the plays for the year. If they come out and they start building margins, and this article pointed out well, it's an if. It's an if. Now, if you want to bet on something, let's go meme stock. Let's go balls deep on meme stocks. Unity Software is up 9%. Okay, the symbol is just you. Okay, this is a shit show of a stock. So when you look at a weekly of Unity, we just had the 200 show up and it's trading well below that. But there's no way I want to invest in this one. But again, it's up 9%. Why is it up 9%? Because Roaring Kitty tweeted about it. I mean, does it make sense to invest in this one? Well, let's take a look at Unity Software you can read this one. There's a lot of stuff going on with Unity. 1 year, you're down 36%. The quant says it's a hold. We can go and look at the quant history of this one. Has it been a strong buy? Not recently. It just got out of the sell rating at 15.94 and it was a hold. Where are you trading now? 24. Was that enough to get you up? Well, when we look at the factors, you can look at this virtual analyst report. And this is one of the game changers that Seeking Alpha has brought to their premium service. These things are fantastic. Say you know nothing about Unity software, okay? You can get a complete analyst report right here. And it's not like it's 70 pages long. It's not like you have to be an expert to do this. You can do all of this research on your own. And when you look at the quant system, it's the valuation and growth. The company faces significant growth challenges with an EPS growth of minus 11% compared to the sector of 8%. Additionally, revenue growth of minus 3% also trails the sector's 5% gain, highlighting declining growth dynamics. That's it. And the momentum sucks. The valuation, it appears stretched, and EV to sales of 5.22 compared to the sector median of 3.38, indicating a more expensive stock. However, the price to book ratio of 2.72 is cheaper than the sector of 4.22, suggesting some value. So these are great, great insights. And again, this is updated nightly for you from Trendspider for all the stocks that the quant covers. So Unity software might be one of those that, hey, it comes around. Now, crypto link stocks pop as 2025 kicks off. If you're not buying IBIT or MicroStrategy, MicroStrategy is just a great play in the 4-hour algorithm, and I don't buy it outside of the 4-hour algorithm. Even though we're up 2% right now, you were trading well, but shit, you were up at 3. I mean, if we just do the after hours on this one and we do a 5-minute chart this morning, look, you popped up there to 305. You're trading at 296 right now. You're seeing some weakness in the market as the market opens up. As the market opens up, people started selling. So we can run this one. Let's see where QQQ is, because we're at 938 right now. QQQ is actually down. Remember, we were up 1%. I don't know what happened in the market, but something happened. Definitely took us down. So is it a buying opportunity? Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. I just think that, that there are opportunities. Uber's up 2.5%. So, and crypto link stuff, crypto link stocks were higher in pre-market trade on Thursday as traders hope for 2025. Bitcoin breached 100,000. You can read all about it. But there are two stocks that I particularly trade with in relation to Bitcoin. It's MicroStrategy, which I think is a levered ETF on Bitcoin. And if you even want to go, balls deep on your first stroke, MSTX, it's double MicroStrategy. Okay, it's double MicroStrategy. You got a nice gap here, up to 54. You're trading at 37. In my mind, you fill that gap at some point. You fill that gap at some point. He's just buying Bitcoin. But a buy and hold strategy for Bitcoin is just IBIT. Just buy IBIT. And I'm waiting for the 4-hour algorithm to tell me to buy IBIT. IBIT is up 3% in the pre-market. Okay, you have the MACD well below the oscillator. You have the RSI at 49. Yes, it's still a little bit stretched on the weekly. Still a little bit, but we don't even, this is so new, we don't even have a 200 day on IBIT. On weekly, you've got a gap here between 43 and 46. If your time frame is 5 to 10 years, you don't even care about that. If it pulls back, you just buy more. But on the 4-hour in IBIT, the algorithm over 11 months, because it's only been out 11 months, 53%. Buying and holding makes you 90%. 10 positions. It's a 50-50. It's a coin flip. You win some, you lose some. It's exactly what it is. Comparing it to MicroStrategy in the 4-hour algorithm, MicroStrategy's been around a lot longer. So over 24 months, the 4-hour algorithm makes you 2,113%. Okay, 22 positions, once per month. You win 45% of the time. If you bought and held MicroStrategy, you're only up 1,713%. I feel bad for you because you're poor. You're poor. But again, figure that one out. Now, some of the ones that had cross-ups on the 4-hour algorithm, SPG, Simon Property Group, 172. This one has pulled back from 182. I like this one. We can go over here and we can look at SPG. In fact, no, I don't want to do that because this particular one, we're going to look at, let me just open up a new Seeking Alpha so that I can look at seekingalpha.com. I'm going to look at this one, SPG, because I brought it up. But that's a little chart I'm going to look at too. SPG, it's a hold in the quant, but its valuation is B. The only thing is the revisions. The revisions from Wall Street analysts, they don't like it over the last 90 days. Let's take a look. And it's doing it again. And again, it's the pop-up. It's the pop-up. Two up on the earnings per share, 3 up, but 1 down. I don't know how that gets a D plus rating, but it's a D plus. The growth isn't great. The growth is out there. But if you just pull up the virtual analyst report, I wish this thing. Oh, they don't have a virtual analyst report, which is weird. They usually have one for stocks that they cover, but I'll write to them and ask them why. But Simon Crowd Property Group is one. One that I wanted to bring up that does have a cross up here is RSP, and that's the one where I'm going to look at the chart. RSP is an equal weighted ETF for the S&P 500. So, when you buy VOO, when you buy SPY, you're buying a market cap weighted index. So Apple. The number one market cap is Apple. It's like $4 trillion. It's approaching $4 trillion. When you buy those ETFs, you're buying more Apple than anything else. An equal weighted ETF buys an equal amount of all 500 companies. So say it has 500 shares of the S&P. It's going to buy one of Apple, one of Microsoft, one of NVDA, and then one of whatever is the 500th name on the S&P 500 from market cap. It's going to buy one share. So RSP is a way to say, if this one starts to go up and starts to outperform, you can see how this one just tanked in the month of December. And why did it tank? Because the Mag 7 outperformed. And that's what it was. The Mag 7 outperformed in December. This one tanked. Now, if you believe that the 493 stocks are going to outperform the Mag 7 and you're in one of those camps, I don't believe that. This is your ETF. And it's super, super low. The MACD down this low. I mean, look at the last time the MACD was down here. You were trading at 161. It popped all the way up to 167 before it pulled back a little bit. But again, if you believe in this one, we can look at this over the last 5 years. And this was what I was looking at. RSP has underperformed Apple. RSP has underperformed VOO. You go back to 3 years. And RSP has underperformed Apple and VOO. You go back to 1 year, and VOO and Apple are outperforming again. You go year to date, but it's just today. That's the problem with year to date. You go 6 months, and Apple and RSP and VOO are outperforming. Well, RSP actually outperforms over 6 months. VOO. You go back 1 month, and again, RSP is actually losing money. VOO is losing money, but Apple is gaining. So it's the Mag 7 that's really driving that. So if you have any questions, again, Linktree. Remember, see the Trendspider, its sale is going on. You got another 15 hours to do it. I would sign up for today. Start your year off right. This is the best tool out there. The second best tool and third best tool is Premium and Alpha Picks. You can buy them separately, or you can buy them as a bundle and save enough money. But those are the tools that I use. If you have any questions, hit me up. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.